Welcome back to another episode of Know Your Ro. I am I Don't Know Ro, Joshua Fisher, and the first thing I want to kick off is it's been a while since the last time we got to interact and talk with one another, and it wouldn't be right if we didn't give our respects to those who have passed. I want to start by saying rest in peace to Kari Cooper, rest in peace to Marcel Lardo, and rest in peace to Quincy Evans. You guys will be deeply loved and missed for eternity. And it would not be a show without making sure that we mention you guys and your accomplishments. So thank you. Now, today we are going to kick things off in a whole different way. It's 2025, and we are just going to get right into it. There's no need to bullshit. There's no need to push around it. We're going to just jump right into it. Before we do, I have my lovely co-host, my sister, Joy.
Hi, hello, Joy, actress, artist.
We also have my boy, my main man, the director, and the producer himself, Brian Biz Cooper.
Brian Bizzy B, official Bizzy B, film director, producer, extraordinary writer.
And this man doesn't need much introduction, but you guys know exactly who he is, the beloved and not to be played with, BH, big homie. What's going on?
You already know, man. Thank you for having me, brother. You know, we going back to back. Let's get to it.
I appreciate it, man. And we also have my boy, Cam Nightlife, the one that's the eyes and the ears on the ground all the time.
What it do, man? Cameron Nightlife, you know, Bay Area in the building / Vegas, man, you know. Jen's Legacy, we got all these dope jewels on us, man. You know?
Yeah, what's up with that? You got the Inspector Gadget wrist over there. You got a lot.
Know,
go.
I got everything, you know. We got, you know, RIP to my mom, you know, Jen's Legacy. She was making jewelry and clothes. You know, she was like a thrift store queen. You know what I'm saying? And she just never got to get it fully finished, so I got it going. So we got it, man.
That's
we got to get everybody
man.
a necklace or a bracelet.
Yeah, Jen's Legacy, man. We're gonna make sure to put a logo, a link over there for Jen's Legacy as well, so that way people can know exactly where to find it.
Definitely.
So one of the things that I just wanted to just kick off, man, is a lot of times people don't know who they talking to. They don't know what's going on, and they talking to the wrong one.
Exactly.
For example,
Facts.
Tupac Shakur went off on Khadijah. Khadijah?
It's Khadijah, right?
It's Khadijah.
Right?
He went off on her publicly, and someone had to step to him and be like, yo, you better chill. And he said, yo, mind your fucking business. Mike, yeah, Michael Jackson.
Mike, yeah.
And they said Michael Jackson threw them paws on him. And they said Michael Jackson had to lay him out. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Got a little wild with him. That's that Gary Indiana.
Right, come on, right? He said on Gary, you ain't gonna keep
Like,
on the gas, he ain't going.
That's like his
Michael
nigga.
Jackson story,
They be
too.
forgetting.
Yeah, so you said you got Mike's story?
I got a Michael Jackson
What
story.
you got?
This story came from Eddie Griffin.
Okay.
Eddie Griffin's a good friend of mine. I used to do some work with him when he was over at the Rio. And he told me one day he was with Michael. This is Eddie Griffin and I talking. Verified story. He says, Michael Jackson comes to him and says, Eddie, why do you use the word nigga so much? And he's like, well, Michael, you know, I just use it for, you know, for comedy and all of that. And he said, Mike, if you say the word nigga, Mike, I won't use it anymore in my jokes. And he said, Mike said, I ain't gonna say it, but I am one.
Yo,
That's a Michael Jackson story.
hey,
Yeah.
I'm a nigga, right?
I said people forget. You a nigga too. You use a
what he
nigga too.
You
Michael
said it
Jackson.
one time, I'm done.
Yeah, that was it. That's a Michael
That's a cold
Jackson story,
story, man.
That's a cold story. Yeah.
So what's we're gonna kick off with you then, Biz. What's a story, something that's a common misconception about who Bizzy B is?
Common misconception about me, I would think, is people don't realize how articulate I am. They don't realize, they just see me from, you know, just kind of moving and shaking. People don't realize that I went to Northwestern University. I went to the Medill School of Journalism. Man, I'm a writer at my core, man. I bleed ink, man. I can write. I've done so many different things that I think Bizzy B is a fitting name, so there's not really one thing you can say that would just apply to me. You know, I've been in film, I've been in music. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a small franchise of restaurants. You know, I've worked for consulting firms, bro. I've worked as a stockbroker back in the day. I've worked in sales for companies, but I've never found any sense of ecstasy and pleasure until I've actually worked for myself and hustled.
Amen.
You know, so that's one of the common misperceptions about me. They think maybe I'm just some guy that's kind of, because I don't really advertise my revolution. I'm kind of less. People think I'm less astute or aloof because I just only show them one side of me. But I do that most of the time is intentional. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. You can't let them know your next move,
Yeah,
man.
you know,
And
intentionally. So that's my move, you know. So
what's funny is I do. I write scripts and different things.
of course,
but
you amazing.
no, man, thank you, man. But I
Seen it.
Give him
It's
his
a-
flowers. Give him his flowers.
You're my
real
hero,
quick.
bro. One of my heroes.
I never do
Facts.
writing sessions with people. Whenever we people are like, let's do a writing session or whatever, and I'd be like, yo, I'm gonna go in my car real fast, and then I'd take the laptop in the car and just sit up there. I've only done a writing session one time with Brian.
I remember.
It's the only time I ever did
I
a writing
remember
session with
when we were
somebody.
at the Panera Bread.
Yeah, we're sitting at Panera Bread.
Bread,
We were
yeah.
working on that lose-lose, man.
Working
That
on
was
Lose-Lose,
Yeah,
yep.
that was
On
great,
Lose-Lose. Yeah,
man.
he's one of the writers on Lose Lose.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
no, this man, like, this is the only person I've ever sat down and did a writing duo with, and it was late at night, and he was still trying to write. That's why I know you're articulate, man.
that's my thing,
You know,
man,
yeah, very
My thing,
great
man.
penmanship.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Of course, man. And then BH, what you got? What's something that's a common misconception about who BH is?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a giant, you feel me? And like I got a jovial personality. I speak articulately, and people will think that I'm soft because of that. Until they in the hospital and trying to, they want, it's just
they
little
trying to
stuff
figure it
like
out.
that. You feel me? But I don't got savage on my face for no reason. This ain't an act. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I be chilling though. Until I'm a gentleman at all times until it's time.
Exactly.
Facts.
It's not unwarranted. You do it like, yo, this,
Yeah, I never harmed nobody who didn't deserve it.
not a bully.
I'm definitely not a bully.
No.
'Cause I speak for the people with no voice. And I want to say something to Ada Santiago. I got your email. I got all the documents. I'll be in Philadelphia in about 7 days, and we're going to do what we can to bring your daughters home. So we're going to leave it at that.
Amen.
Amen, man.
Amen, dude.
Good work,
And,
bro.
That's one of the most admirable things that I want to just say on record right now from knowing Big Homie. I got sisters. I love my sisters. I look out for my sisters at all costs. You've seen, like, I'll pop off.
They your first homies.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
So you looking out for the people that you do, it means something to anybody that looks out for others around us.
Yeah, and I could tell that, bro, because I've received an outpouring. There's an overwhelming outpouring of people who thank me for this. They volunteer resources. They volunteer to come help. And it's just like, and I'm starting to see other guys in different cities and states start to come outside and actively protect women and children in their community. You feel me? And that means a lot to me because I got a sister. I got little cousins. You feel me? And, we got to lead by example.
That's it, man. It's
These the only
evident.
people who can carry life, man.
Come on.
Exactly. Clock it. More
Them the
respect.
only ones. You know how special you got to be to hold a life for 9 months and then don't die? I came out of a little 5'3" lady, 10 pounds, 22 inches. So she a monster, bro.
Hey, you know what? It is
that's
true.
true.
I mean, look, and it is. I mean, shit, man. This is a tough point to put me with my sister sitting right next to me. But I mean, we carried the load for about a few months.
Oh my goodness, look.
I got about 10 million kids I'm holding on to for a little bit.
It does not compare the burden though.
Hell no, you
Pushing
ain't
a whole life force out is
Yeah,
nothing.
your thighs open up this big.
What?
Oh, it's
Like,
getting
that's
crazy.
crazy. That's
Look,
crazy.
Man,
You just snapped.
You know, you ate that. You know, you ate that.
Man, you know what it remind me of? If anybody ever seen a live birth, it reminds me of watching the movie The Alien.
Traumatized.
Oh, boy.
Man,
It does.
I-
The
I-
alien
I-
scene is traumatizing.
It's like
when it pops out.
I literally watched my son be born, man, and man, it was like the whole thing was surreal. It was almost like the head, all of a sudden his head was there in her vaginal cavity, and it was almost like, I was like, man, how did her move stretch out like that? That's the first thing I was saying to myself.
And
like,
then go back.
I was like, man, my move is gone, bro. It's over with. Like,
I ain't got no
And then his head popped out, and his head was just sitting there, like hanging out of her vagina.
Yeah, you
And
gotta pull him out.
And then I'm then I'm looking,
You gotta pull him out.
and then they grab him, and it's
That's
the way
what she said.
it's the way that the doctor grabbed him, and it's like they grab him like somewhere like on the base of their head.
Yeah.
And then it's like, then you see shoulders in a whole nother body. And then after that, I saw like the placenta hit the ground. It was like, that shit was like alien. It was some alien shit, bro. But I was like right there in front and center. So yeah, big ups to women.
No,
and,
seriously.
Seriously. Like
all jokes aside.
Like all jokes aside, we could say all of the other stuff. And it goes back to BH's point, what he said, man, people don't realize this, and I'm gonna pass the mic, that women, especially single women with children, live in a world where they're scared. The people think that they're tough. A woman's only tough with her tongue. She lives in a world where she knows she can be physically harmed. And even when men, we talk aggressive, that hurts a woman. They're scared of that. That we think that like firing back at them, this is stuff that I'm learning. We think that firing back at them is like, I'm just talking to them laterally like a dude. No, my mother used to even say it. My mother said, your words, you don't realize, Brian, your words are sharp. She says, sometimes even when you talk to me as your mom, she says that I feel like, like needle points hitting me, so not saying that all women, is just super in alignment with all, and because there's some women that's out of balance too, a lot of women out of balance, but over the hall for those good women who are out there, man, big ups to you all that are raised and doing this shit on your own, big ups to you all, man, and we salute you, and we're here to protect you guys and protect women and children. That's Big Homie's message.
No, exactly. And that's what we're all about. We're all about protecting the women. There's nothing that's going to be misconstrued in that in any way, shape, or form, because there's a lot that is being overlooked for what's going on with women and how they carry themselves. Joy, what?
There we go. We got a woman
insight.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's ask a woman what's going
Come on,
on.
that's what I'm saying.
All right, let's chime in
The
with a woman.
question too, definitely. I feel like that was a great point that he made, where especially like single, independent women. I don't have any children yet, but just as a woman, just being young and being in the dating scene and stuff like that, I feel like we have that misconstrued, like we have our own money and stuff like that, and we're hard and we're tough. But at the end of the day, we're still very fragile, very sensitive people that need, delicate care. Yeah, and I feel like that'd be because especially me, I have 3 older brothers. I come off very, very hard. I'm not very, feminine-like and on all parts. I feel like I can be, but I feel like I have to be like that with somebody I feel comfortable with doing so. And I feel like that's my biggest misconception is that I don't really come off like that until I really get comfortable. But I feel like all women do need that to be able to be in a safe space with somebody, to be able to let that softer feminine side come out. I think that's what's really missing right now. No,
of course. And I've seen different times that we've interacted with some people where they have a very harsh tone or personality, and you still like try to soften the mood and environment by trying to be like, okay, like I'm gonna show my sweet side. I know how to be laughing and joking with everybody, but you're still uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like I hope y'all can read between the lines, and it just takes other people in the room to be like, yo, I can see what's going on. Like,
yeah, they're uncomfortable.
I'm peeping on that. Right. So for your misconception about you, what is something that you go through commonly?
Honestly, I just feel like people think that I'm just very hard. I think that they think that I'm just not really touching my soft side and stuff like that. But I feel like I really am. I really get into it. Like, I'm an artist though. So I feel like at all times, like being a painter, like I'm just in my own creative space. I'm not really involving too many other people, because I feel like once you get involved in too much of politics and everybody else's lives, it's like you get clouded yourself. And I don't like that. So I feel as though, I don't know, I don't think that people see that I let people in, because I'm very guarded. I think that would be, but I mean, I guess that's not really a misconception. I guess that's true.
I mean, I was say you wearing a Scarface jacket.
Hello.
You wearing Tony Montana.
Like when I really get close, like I'm very open.
Shout out Tony Montana.
Oh no, that's my favorite movie. It is.
I'll tell you words of my man. My man said it's free to pay attention too.
Come on.
It's non-profit. It's a non-profit.
You pay everything when you don't.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Johnny says it's free to pay attention.
Man, and hey, perfect segue. Perfect segue into what we're about to talk about next. Our next segment, real or bullshit.
Yes, let's go.
I'm gonna rapid fire a few things. Y'all tell me if it's real or bullshit. If it's bullshit, we'll speak on it for a sec.
Let's go for it.
So, first one, Bigfoot. Joy?
Bullshit.
Biz?
You said it got. I'm going with real only because of information I got from BH.
Real for sure.
You know Bigfoot?
Man, he got a story out of this world. I can believe you asked that.
No, for real.
When
Go
you
ahead.
asked
No,
that,
I'm ready.
When you
I'm ready.
asked that, I'm like, he must have talked to BH ahead of time.
No, I didn't know
no,
that. This is
never
literally
talked
here.
about
This
Go
nigga
for
shit
it.
is crazy, bro. I'm telling you. Tell him the story from top to bottom. You have to, bro.
Hey, Joe. Hey. I'm riding with them. I got another one.
He
So
says real.
okay, so
This shit is
Tell
deep
it.
now, man.
Yo,
You hit one on that one.
I'm a scientist at heart. You feel
Okay.
me? And anything I speak on, I usually got my 10,000 hours in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me be careful how I articulate this. Okay, so I'm gonna list a series of facts though.
Case sensitive.
There's a doctor named Dr. Melba Ketchum,
Okay.
and then there's an investigator who's a former law enforcement. His name is David Paulides.
Yep.
They worked with a guy named Dennis Erickson, and they had a $10 million project to map the genome of this hominid. Now, there are several pieces of footage. There are over 10,000 casts of feet and handprints. Then, when it all boils down, in any court of law, to convict somebody, all you need is a certain amount of eyewitness testimony and circumstantial evidence. There's enough of both of these, plus physical evidence, to support the existence of this creature. Then, working as a private bodyguard, you end up at a lot of places where the normal person won't be able to get to. So I was working with a team of guys through a company called Safeguard Resources, and we ended up on a property billionaire real estate tycoon dude. He was a big game hunter. I don't want to say too much, but there are places you can go, and if you want to shoot a camel, you want to shoot a lion, they got it set up here in the States where you can do that.
Right.
They also have auctions to where you can buy these same animals here. Now, me being the youngest guy on the security team at this time, and me not being military, you got to do the grunt work for all of the other guys.
Right.
So, a lot of times, people in these positions, when they got a lot of money, they start to confide in you when you spend a lot of time with them. And I'm the guy, like, look, if there's a grill and a bottle of whiskey and some beers, find me by that grill. For sure.
Right.
Straight up.
So we had a property in Colorado. I'm on the grill, and to get to certain places on the property, you got to ride an ATV.
Yeah.
So I'm not real good with ATVs and stuff like that, so I'm about to walk. You feel me? But on the radio, I call on the radio, hey, man, can somebody bring lighter fluid to the grill? You feel me? And the person who answered the radio, I'm thinking it's one of my teammates. No, it's the owner of the property. He pull up. He's like, you know what? You're a good man. He started talking to me and stuff like that. We eating beers, burgers, pardon me.
Eating beer.
That's crazy. Okay. So he asked me, you ever been hunting before? I say, no, man, I never shot an animal, nothing like that. So he invites me into his trophy room. I'm getting chills thinking about this because we get to the trophy room, bro, and as soon as you walk in, you see these different type of animals mounted. He got stuffed bears, but then he has something, bro, stuffed that was gigantic. Now, I'm 6'6", bro, but what he showed me, much wider than me, much taller than me, thighs this big, arms huge.
Mag the Stallion. I'm joking.
That's a big woman.
So, and one hand was missing, and the other hand was splayed like this. Huge hand. And I'm looking at this. And then he looking at me while I'm looking at that. Looking at this taxidermy animal.
Yeah.
And before I can say anything, he goes, the big old boys are real. They're out there.
Oh.
So I'm looking like, so I'm looking at him. I don't say nothing though. You feel me? So I said, where'd you get this from? He said, it came out of Oregon. We got it shipped out here. They say it took a long, they say they could never catch it. They said, I ain't never even said this part. He said they got off one shot and it disappeared out of view. And all I know is they disappeared out of view, and a couple days later, they ended up finding the body. You feel me? And they shipped it out of there to his property, and that's where it stands right now. And further into the trophy room, underneath like some jaguars and some lions, they got the hand in its own little display case.
Its own encasing.
I seen this on the gas. I saw this.
That is wild. So
it's like Thanos' hand from
See,
Avengers.
that was the only reason why I was gonna say that, because I was like, social media, there's so much like, why isn't there no new footage? But then now that just answered both of my questions. One, it could have already been hunted down and there's not many of them out there. And two, there's a species. There's so many different ones, not one that we're just looking for.
Man, they got a tape. I don't mean to cut you off. They got a tape. DEA agent was setting up hidden cameras deep in the California wilderness to find cartel members who will have a grow operation. On this footage, a creature comes out, covers up the camera with foliage, and you can hear it walking off. There are several groups of footage that if you want to see, you got to pay. Because a lot of people don't want to release that footage because they don't want people coming on their property searching. And then these creatures seek revenge.
yeah.
They seek revenge. When you kill one of them, they come for you.
Well, think about tigers in India that have gone ahead and they had their spouse slaughtered. And then that same tiger hunts everyone down in that village for 30 years straight.
Yes, sir.
And it's like, okay, that's crazy. But okay, now we're talking about genealogy. That's the next point I was about to get into.
Sure.
If we're talking about genetics and the breakdown of it, if we have like a giant sloth breakdown that was already proven to exist,
Right.
and it was prehistoric, and
Right.
people think that it's just wiped out and it's no longer living here, but we didn't see the new hybrid of that species and what it became now. And if it's going around here, it's covering its tracks the same ways that moles cover their tracks.
Yes.
There's different animals that cover their tracks so that way they can't be found. And we don't know how fast they travel. So if somebody is hunting it, they shoot it, and now it's running for days on. It can travel larger distances, and you don't know where it's going to drop off at.
Facts.
So that,
And then when you speak about the giant sloth, Forrest Galante and his team are on an expedition right now trying to prove that that animal still exists
yes, exactly.
because of reports from people in the community.
Well, people didn't know gorillas existed until 150 years ago.
Facts.
That's a crazy thing that people don't know. So imagine being like, yo,
that.
I seen this big ass nigga in the woods.
Right.
It's
He's
all
running on his
black.
hands and legs, and I swear he can lift a cart
Right.
above his head.
For sure.
You wouldn't believe that. That
No,
sounds
that's
crazy.
true.
But then
That's
when
true.
you see it, and it's like, okay, there's a whole tribe of them. But if you're looking at something that is a lone predator that doesn't hunt in a pack, it doesn't hunt in a tribe, is going to seem more illustrious to you.
For sure.
In the sense of like, if you see like a jaguar hunts alone. It doesn't hunt in a pack.
Yeah, you can.
So
a jaguar could be on your property in your neighborhood, and you will never see it.
Yeah.
They don't even leave footprints like that.
No, they're the one of the smartest creatures in the world.
They spend most of their
favorite
life in
animal.
trees.
Yeah, like on ayahuasca.
Look up missing 411 and look up the people that have disappeared in all the major
The
national
national park system.
parks. If you're a researcher, anybody who's watching this, there's a book, I can't say it verbatim. It's The Haunting of the Presidents. The Native Americans, when they made a deal, when the white man came through here and he decided to give all the natives smallpox and give them brandy and kill them and whack them out. And then they had to make a deal with the Native Americans. The Native Americans' deal was, we have our God.
But that's what I was going to say. Based off of region, you have different lore that is based upon each region of America.
Correct.
That are different things that are blowing people's minds. So if we're saying, for example, for the Bigfoot, we've got from Oregon to Arizona, California, like this western region, and it goes a little bit towards the outskirts, but you don't hear too much like in Tennessee and stuff. But one of the things I was going to talk about too was a pathway Joy was talking about earlier today.
Oh my goodness.
From Sedona area, right, in Arizona.
Yeah, they said that it's in the Grand Canyon and there's a portal in the
They got so much stuff there.
No.
They got so many prints on the walls.
But
Here's the thing, though. To add credence to what he's saying, when he mentioned Missing 411,
yes,
Missing 411 is a series created by the gentleman I mentioned earlier, David Paulides.
Yes.
Yes.
Because he has a YouTube channel called Can-Am Missing.
Yep.
And him and Melba Ketchum are the ones who put together this initiative to validate the existence of Bigfoot.
Yes.
If it's not a real creature, why is it listed in Yellowstone National Park's list of animals?
Man.
If it's not real, why is it illegal to hunt it in Washington State?
Hey, big homie.
so it's illegal to hunt
Big
Bigfoot.
homie.
Yes.
If me and you go in there and we find and hunt Bigfoot and we kill him, we're all going to jail for life because he's under a federal
Protection.
Native American contract. And
So-
that's how the white man and the natives put it together.
And
Tecumseh,
Hold on one second.
he
I'm
let
gonna
him
add
go.
this.
Yeah, brother.
I'm gonna add
Preach.
this. Okay, the way they were able to bring this deal to the forefront is when they were at war with the natives, they
Yep.
killed all the bison.
Yep. Yes.
So the natives was like, okay, if they did this to our food supply,
What are they gonna do to us?
what would they do to these creatures who historically in every Native American tribe they have a story about how they went to war with these giants. They didn't want to war with the giants who they called Sasquatch, all of that type of stuff, different names. That's how they got the leverage to be able to even negotiate this. So the fact, what he's saying, I never heard nobody else say that, but what he's saying is the facts.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. I'm a believer now. I didn't believe in Bigfoot. I thought it was bullshit.
But now it makes more sense.
But this
He's
is
been
crazy
there
to me.
forever, man. He's
Yes.
protected.
I feel like that's why I didn't believe it, just because I was like, well, where are the facts? But then when you really look about it, you really have to go find them. Like the same thing with like
Yes.
aliens and stuff like that. They're not going to put it in front of your face. That you need to go look for.
You want to
Like-
hide it, put it in a book.
Like the
Yeah.
reptilian thing, I didn't know about reptilians, and so I'm not gonna say the guy's name, but I had a homie that was like, yo, he worked at the thing, and they were like, okay, let's go and bring you into the museum. Let's go check out the things and
Okay.
see what's up there. So when we went there, we walked through, and walking through the museum, it's like a $10,000 admission to go inside there. A lot of people, I think it's still open. You can still go in there. But one of the things that they have is they have a reptilian display there. And it's laid out in the sarcophagi. And it's...
For the viewers, what does that mean?
So, to put it out there, it's a... the best way to describe it is like it's a crocodile head that was mummified and wrapped up
Yeah.
in a body. And then... But it was like...
People have seen it but don't know what that is.
It's like 8 to 9 feet long. So like, pause. But like, it's like 8 to 9 feet.
Please.
That's a good pause.
That was a good.
Clap it up for my boy.
That's a good.
There we go. There we go. You on point.
Egyptian God.
So
30
it's like
feet tall.
it's like 8 to 9 feet, and so but you got the toes that were poking out the end, then you got the hands that were across it as well.
Yeah.
And some people were like, it might have been like sewed together, but it wasn't. But that was one of the things that I was like, okay, so reptilians' existence might have been different, but I want to talk about what you knew on Arizona.
Oh, I don't know anything.
Or
that
what
was
you
just,
thought
that
about.
was just
My
what
bad.
it was just theories that I had heard. But yeah, they were talking about that, just about they were saying that there was some type of passageway from Arizona to Africa. And I was like, okay, these people sound schizophrenic. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how are we getting from Arizona to Africa, like, geographically? So I put it in my map, and I was like, and I looked at it from the world part, and it was a straight line across, like, literally from here to here. And I was like, because it was saying it was in Giza in Africa. And I was like, okay, well, I feel really dumb talking about it, but I was like, they might have some place.
Now, see,
But just
that's
to
the
feel
thing.
safe from portals.
Now, all right. What you just said right now about the reptilian thing, there's a tribe in Africa called the Dogon tribe.
Dogon, preach, brother.
And the Dogon tribe had a star map and the map of the cosmos before any technology ever existed to even look into the stars that mapped them. Their origin story is 2 reptilian brothers came down, gave them fire, medicine, language, and the information on how to form a society. How do these people who live completely pre-Stone Age, how could they have a star map?
Yeah.
Hey, was that Serious B, right?
Yes.
There you go.
And so then when it
Preach.
comes to what our co-host is saying, tunnel systems exist.
Yep.
So Tim Gallaudet, Navy Rear Admiral, just testified in front of Congress saying that they track vehicles coming from out of the ocean floor into the sky. He believes that they have a tunnel system that they can traverse to get anywhere across the country, across the planet, pretty much at warp speed. So I always say, where there's smoke, there's fire. If there's a straight line from Giza to the Grand Canyon, and then the pyramids sit on the equatorial belt, they're in a straight line that match the Orion's belt, there's got to be something there.
So
Okay, so I wasn't too crazy. Okay, it made me feel better. I felt like I was going crazy. That made me feel better.
I wanted to say something hand in hand with
You
that.
ain't know BH was like that. Huh?
No. I wanted to go hand in hand with that, but we still got it.
Misconception. You like that? Yeah.
I had a theory,
Okay.
and this is a personal theory that like I might be crazy. Who knows what the hell I'm talking about? But what I'm saying is, with the Bermuda Triangle location of it, is it almost goes parallel with the slave trade triangle that
Yes.
they
It
had.
does.
If you really look at it to understand the islands and the areas that they were going through, to the point where I think that it was something that was already understood ancestrally, that there is a portal there, and we were just waiting for your trade system that you guys think that you guys created to go awry in that same passageway.
There's look up quantum entangled photons. Pull it up on your
I know photons is like.
It is
so
quantum
I know
physics
quantum.
phenomenon where 2 or more particles become linked, sharing a quantum state that cannot be described independently.
Do you see the picture of it?
Yes, I do. It looks like yin and yang.
No.
It's a hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
The yin and yang symbol arrived 2,500 years before Christ. How is it that the yin and yang, and this is the first image of quantum entangled photons, came in 2025? How is it that it looks exactly
Talking
like
about physics, we're talking about what goes into motion and what pushes something, and then the force that stops it. And in this, it's a consistent flow. There's no force that's stopping it, and there's no force that's necessarily the one in control.
Time is linear. Everything is happening at the same time.
Yes, sir.
You feel me? So there is a missing group of knowledge that it's up to us to piece together, because there's no way that this is our first image of quantum entangled photons, and it's the spitting image of the yin and yang, and 2,500 years before Christ, they already knew about it.
Well, and I know you're.
Well, ancient math and science, man, is far beyond, man, human understanding, man.
Exactly.
They were so geometrical, man, and so on another plane, man. You know, one of the things for me, I'm just gonna make mine really quick.
No, go for it.
Is when I saw, like, you know, when you look at okay, think about this. There's a reason why, as humans, we talk in words, but we think in pictures.
Yes.
Think about it. I'm gonna say your mom. First thing, picture of your mom pops up. Because there was a time before language when man, either one, was talking with his mind. They were communicating back and forth.
Absolutely.
Moving objects with their mind, perhaps, or they just wanted to have a higher form talking. Now, who would a man be talking to when he had to first originally talk? I guarantee you it is a woman. A woman. He had to tell her, like, hey, look, I'm about to go out here, bitch, big scary animal. I'm gonna run over here in tree, and throw spear, whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that's where the word disgruntled and where I'm sure hypertension and blood pressure probably came from that too. Trying to get the message.
Right.
Then from forming with that, men begin to draw pictures on the wall. Look, I'm about to go over here, right? And then an advanced form of picture writing is what? Hieroglyphics.
Yes.
And this is where I believe language formulated from man first had it in our minds, or either spoke with the mind, and then to dumb it down as the civilization began to spread out, man began to formulate a language so it could be understood what the fuck was going on. So they could communicate, back and forth. Man, Albert Einstein said a great quote, and this is what I always refer to. Albert Einstein said, I'm paraphrasing, he says, if man wants to learn something of himself, he says, study the insects and the animals. Look at how they operate.
Exactly.
Humans, we do nothing but a bunch of surrogate shit. They operate within.
Well, that's why one of my favorite things that I like to study is like the animals. Like when we're talking about jaguars, I got the top 3 animals. It's jaguars, orcas, and ravens. And one of the things about ravens is they're crazy because they understand.
They lost yesterday, man.
No, not them ravens. No, we ain't gonna talk about Beat More. No, you good. But what they do is they're not scavengers like their other they got their cousins, like the crows are their cousins. You got the other birds and the same feather that flock together. Nonsense. But I'm saying with it, the ravens, they actually have a different breed of intelligence where they will mimic the sounds of prey to make that other prey know the mating call to come out, but not for them to hunt, but for a wolf to hunt. So the wolf is, let's say the wolf is privy to trying to go hunt down a deer. The raven knows how to mimic the mating call of a deer to bring out all the other deer in the area and then fly back to the wolves and bring the wolves back around. So that way they hunt down the deer for them and then they just pick out the remains of it. Man. So that's something where, like you're saying, if we're studying the mindset of an animal to understand the further mindset of a man, you can understand that this hunt and prey mindset that a lot of these different people have. And it's interesting because we still haven't even cracked the surface of understanding why animals do certain things that the way that they do.
If you go to certain parts of the world, Native Americans, they use the animal life, the animal spirit as how they learned how to operate as humans. It's the same in Africa. Why? And a lot of people can't understand this. The European, the British white man, he'll never get it. He's never going to figure it out.
I think that's
they're not in tap with their animal instincts. I think that you have to be able to be in tap with
we're all mammals.
These people have only...
So we're mammals, so we got to have some kind of mammalian instinct.
We're looking for something. God, it's either God or it's the animals. So when Africa, all these different parts of how they set up, depending on the culture, I don't want to say religion, but who you follow, your tribe. The natives, like I said, I go to the Native Americans, the Mayans, the African, they've all worked on what they knew, which was how the animals ran the land.
And that's the study that I think that BH is saying right here with it. Sorry, that was Brian that mentioned that. Talking about
that's Einstein's theory on that.
Yeah.
Why do they call a lion the king of the jungle?
Because the jungle is what they used to call in India. That's wilderness.
The lion is the only mammal whose meat is poisonous to eat.
That I did not know.
So think about that.
I know pufferfish are poisonous too, right?
But nobody eat them.
That's a fish, though.
But if you
Japan,
properly
you gotta cut it
prepare
right.
the pufferfish, you can eat it.
You can't eat a lion no matter what.
If you eat lion meat,
you're gonna die.
It's poisonous. That ain't suspicious to you?
That's crazy.
That's great. I didn't know that.
Because you can eat bear meat.
You can eat bear meat.
Yeah, you can eat a bear. You can eat.
You can eat most.
That ain't
meats.
suspicious to you, man.
I
Nobody
didn't know
can
that.
eat them.
That's some
Yeah, I
crazy.
didn't know that. I
It puts them
got
at the top of the food chain.
That is some wow.
Exactly.
It puts them at the top of the food chain because who can eat them?
That ain't crazy. Somebody
fighting.
Just by
pull
genetics. Just by genetics.
I would
Somebody
think
pull the
hyenas,
strings.
Just by
man.
genetics. Nobody
He's
else.
fighting the
can eat them.
hyenas
Somebody
24
pull the
hours a day.
strings.
No, but that's dope. But I do see what you mean though. Like I feel like the people that are more indigenous, stuff like that, we're more tapped in with animal instincts because I feel like the Europeans, that's what they created language for, to be more sophisticated, to have more, efficient conversations and have higher words and more articulate, But honestly, when you just tap into animal instinct, you kind of know a lot more from that, from what to expect.
Absolutely.
Because it
natives,
repeats
man.
history over and over and over again.
History definitely repeats
It
itself.
does. So just
It does.
tap
And
in.
you got to look at all the signs of it repeating itself again too. That's why I think there's some in a sense of literacy, like understanding Fahrenheit 451, where they burn the books, they burn the history, and a lot of times you can't find out all the things that we have already uncovered in mankind and just our sense of knowledge and how we can help out societies. I think in that we're going to start seeing more and more, like what you said, that we already had a knowledge of this. If we can already see a scope of where we are in the universe and how the universe is flowing around us, even going hand in hand with the geographical scale of the world and knowing where our countries are and where we land at. But they're going to keep wiping it away. Like in Egypt, they had electricity already.
For sure.
They said throughout the pyramids, there's no smut inside the pyramids. There's no signs of the ashes.
Nothing was burned inside of there.
Exactly. Never.
Yeah.
So how did they light it up to keep building inside in the dark?
Like Brian said, they made pictures. You can see how they did it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Types of drawings that they made, the same Mayans and Aztec people who they were continents away. How are they drawing, making pictures of the same object of shit flying around at the same time in two different continents? Well, I mean, obviously the continents were connected at some point.
Right, Pangea.
Pangea, yeah, but they're writing the same shit. Like they're showing objects flying. How do you look? They're not watching Netflix and seeing some shit they saw that's influenced.
No,
They're not
course.
influenced by anything other than what they see.
But if we also look
Right.
at it, we
Right.
got
Yeah, like
we got
so.
pyramids in Asia. We got
On
pyramids
every
in
continent.
North America,
Bosnia.
South
Mexico.
America,
Bosnia.
Mexico. We got them in Australia,
Bosnia,
and we got them that are
Antarctic.
even. We got them
They
even
say
being.
some of our mountains here were pyramids.
Exactly what I was about to say. We got some that have been hidden because they put dirt and soil and they planted seeds to hide the pyramids.
Pyramids on Mars.
You're right.
Yep.
With a
the
water
face.
supply as well. So
So going back to reptilian, at
Yeah.
one time, obviously, somebody said, "Why do humans have tailbones?"
Yeah.
Well, because, obviously,
to show our-
we
When
share
we're
98% of our
98%
DNA.
of our
with
DNA,
apes.
yes.
With
It's-
apes.
well,
It's
the other
reptilian.
piece with
What's with the tailbone?
There's a reptilian part of the
The
brain.
reptilian part of the.
Well,
Of
just
the brain.
like we share
It's in the
60% DNA with bananas, we still got some of the same DNA.
wait, what?
Yeah, we do. Yes,
Wait, we got 60%.
For the same, with bananas.
with banana. Yeah.
6%. I'm 6% banana.
Hey, on my mama's
Yo,
side.
pause.
Yeah. Hey, you
That's
feel
right,
me?
another good pause.
That's a good pause.
Let's go.
Good pause
Nice
again.
work. Nice
That's the
work.
pause captain.
You on a high level today.
level, yeah.
Yo, no,
That's CP3.
Yeah, I forgot
That's
what
corporate
you're
pause.
doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought
that
you always check it.
Yeah, I do, man, because I'm like,
right.
yo.
Check it
Hey, that's Chris Pause.
What's
No,
Chris
hey.
Pause? Let's go.
Chris
For
Pause.
sure. For
like
sure.
That's wild, man. No, I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not excited.
No, I heard that.
But no,
before.
that's some crazy shit, man. I didn't know that. So,
Everything in the real time universe is interdependent.
yeah.
As we're all somehow connected to each other. Just like even in our human body. Think about the iron, all of the thymine, all of that same shit that we have in our body is found in fucking outer space.
Yeah.
In the galaxy.
universe.
That's
The minerals in you are also, we're interdependent
the
with the
universe.
universe. This shit, obviously, as according to quantum, we're all just a flash of light. We're just a transmission of some shit that this is just us being played out in a physical 3-dimensional way. But the real us is like playing a video game somewhere.
Well, you think about it, that
Like
matter never really disappears.
Simulation shit, yeah. Like,
But like matter never disappears. So like if you
destroy it.
if you take wood and you burn wood, the wood's not destroyed. It's just transformed into something else. So
That
now it's
transforms
smoke.
matter.
Yeah, exactly. So now that smoke goes up, and then we see that glimmering light. And I think you remember in that script that I wrote that part where it was like, I like to believe that we get to keep transforming into different forms of matter, and then when you see that different glimmering light in the sky, sometimes that's a wink back at your loved ones or whatever that you know, and that would be a peaceful way to just look at it. But what I also think is that I think it takes so long that to really understand it, it's still you being transformed into different forms of matter. Like if you're talking about like the different buildups that we have, if it's from sulfur, if it's from carbonite, whatever it is. I'm not talking about weed terpenes. But
when you say carbon, that's heavy, bro.
No carbon, no seriously,
man. But carbon dating is how you find out how old shit is out here.
Yeah.
I mean, so carbon is a big function in there. But you know what's so deep, man? And this is the craziest shit is, and I like when I talk to BH, I know him, and me and you, we don't have that many talks, and Joy. But man, once someone passes, and all the shit that you say, you gotta believe that shit now. And I think that'd be like the hardest shit. Like, you know, you have to believe that, man, I'm an infinite source, and that is an infinite source, that I'm transferring state, and that this is not the end. But through religion and inundation with just being in a 3-dimensional world, we I think the human brain, for a lot of us, get caught up in the physicality of this, so it's hard to let that shit go. And like, just speaking on my son, I'm a pastor Mike, you know, he used to talk about on those planes about the metaphysical plane and Dad, you know, you can't, you know, and our shit already been on for 20, 30 years. I've been on this shit a long time. But to hear him say it, and then for him to have passed, and then you gotta believe the shit, that be tough. You know what I mean?
Sure,
You forced to stand in that shit, and okay, I gotta really believe this shit. And that's what's tough, man. So
that's what, so what happened with my one of my best friends, Quincy, when he passed, talked to Biz throughout that. So what happened was Kari's funeral was like, you know, it was on a Sunday, and while I was getting ready to go there, I heard my friend's voice speak to me and let me know that he was already gone. The very next morning, I got the call, and it was the confirmation. It kind of translates over almost into what I would consider like a slave ritual, where it's like the wade in the water was for who knows what wade in the water means. This is the directions for us to get away from the plantation. You can't let everybody know what wade in the water is.
Not everybody's supposed to be tapped in.
Right. If you singing that on the plantation, everybody like, we gonna leave at 11 and we gonna go through the river. They're gonna be like, yo, they all gonna know what we doing. So it's just chill. But like, I think that's what some of what's going on this field is people are tapping in and talking to us in the ways that they can and what we can understand for those who are meant to hear it. And that's my way of explaining it.
No, but that's a good way of explaining it, because especially I feel like a lot of people are feeling it more these past few years. I feel like the veil has been thinning. Like everybody's starting to see like, okay, this spiritual stuff, this spiritual world isn't just mumble. It's not just made up. Like this is actually happening and it's really right in front of us. We just can't see it.
That's what the Israeli space chief said.
You admitted it.
Yeah. So you got this chance right here where for those who can understand it, they can see through it. You know, we can see through some of the things where you feel it in your soul. Like I believe that you got the sixth senses, like baby. The very first sense they say is like, okay, your sense of hearing, because you're inside the womb and you hear your mother or your father that's speaking outside. You hear the vibrations. You know how to relate that to them whenever you come out into the world. I think that the very first sense is awareness, and that's that sense from God. And I think that that's God tapping into us, and that's how you can have a child that has no sensory advancements when they're first born, but they still are aware, because that's the very first sense that they got, is that sense of awareness.
For sure.
Definitely.
And I think
had that in there too. For
yeah.
Sure.
That's how you know, like, you know God. And people are like, well, based off of your religious views and values, I'm like, I get it, but you still know God. Like you understand that there is God, right? Like
For sure.
right.
There's a reason why you're here. Somebody made you.
Even when people want to deny it, they like, well, my God's not your God. We're not talking about that. But I'm just saying, like, if you can understand the sense of awareness, like you get that sense of God, that presence that's within.
Awareness.
That's why I always say the modern state of being a human right now is just a constant paradox, because human skepticism, in my opinion, is a virus. Because when we were hunters and gatherers, there was no such thing as ADHD. There was no such thing as being hyperactive. If you wasn't hyperactive, something chased you down and ate you.
Come on.
So if a guy goes down to the river and say, hey, man, be careful about that river. It's a pack of wolves down there. And here comes somebody, oh, man, ain't no pack of wolves down there. He go to the river and don't come back. Now, everybody at the village got to go find him. More people are going to die. Just like with the Salem witch trials. Just like with every religion that ever exists. Human skepticism is a virus. If we don't trust each other, somebody's going to perish.
Come on. And you know what? I think we had a very solid...
Well, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
That was the one.
That's a very solid point, man.
Message.
Message. Yeah, that was it.
He clocked that.
No, and
If you didn't catch that, you dead.
That was
That's
the
all.
that was a good one. That was a good one.
That was the whole
a good
purpose
stuff.
of the real or bullshit whole
No,
questionnaire.
seriously, that was the end of it. Exactly.
Thank you.
Real or
Hey,
bullshit.
good rapping. Come on, let's snap it up. I'm gonna snap it up.
Clock it.
I'm not gonna clock it. I'm a man, but I'm gonna snap it up. I'm gonna snap it up with you. I'm gonna unk it.
We snapping it up.
I'm a big bro.
Big bro it.
Yeah, you're not in the unk category.
Yeah,
you
explain that to us. You the youngest in the group now, because now there's no more TikTok. Everybody got to understand who's
back.
big bro.
It's
who.
back. It's back.
It's back.
Yeah,
I'm not old. I didn't even notice it's back.
No, literally, Trump
I
just
seen a lot of
put it right
guys
back
crying
in.
over it too. So y'all better watch y'all mouth talking to me. I see you boys crying yesterday.
Boys is crying over.
A lot of people, a lot of content creators, but it's back. It's back.
Get your hustle up, son.
Please.
What they crying about? They're like, "What's my income?"
Yes.
Yeah, that check was gone.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. But it
They
was like,
must not have heard that phrase. If a crackhead could wake up at 5 a.m. to find a way to get crack, why are you crying?
Go bring your rake
why
out,
you can't
boy.
do it?
Come on, man.
No, but you in the big bro category. So
I thought you were gonna say you a
it's
crackhead.
Like,
Damn. Not my boy Ro.
You were.
Damn.
I never do you like that on air. That's crazy.
No, hey, off
Any
air
of, our,
either.
any of our crack activity stays between the both of us. Thank you
No,
very much.
hey, facts,
that goes to
facts.
grave.
Look, crack ain't never killed nobody, man.
Come on, man.
Crackheads live to
mean,
80. I see the 75-year-old crackhead.
Debatable.
It's the other stuff that come with that kill you. The running in traffic and shit like that. Yeah, that might take
Hey,
you.
you're right.
That'll take
The
you
crack
out.
didn't kill him. Running in the street.
You ever seen anybody overdose on crack?
That's what got him.
Hey, no, you ain't never seen a crack overdose?
Sheesh. Hey.
Name one person you heard overdosed on crack.
I don't know any.
Jimmy Carter. I'm joking. I'm joking. That'd be wild. What if you found out that's how it went? It was crack and they didn't want to tell nobody.
He doing crack in his 80s.
That's the time to wait for it. Wait for it until you're 90. Ain't nobody gonna believe it.
His heart
If you
exploded.
get hooked, who cares? Like, you ain't got that much life
Come
to live
on now.
anyway. Fuck it.
That's
At
how
least you
like
get to
if
go
you
out
never
high.
did Molly and you reach 90s, just wait till you're 90 and try Molly for the first time.
Get trippy, baby.
So,
dead.
one of the other pieces I was about to add with it.
Hilarious.
Who did it?
Who done it?
JFK.
Dun,
Oh,
dun,
I
dun.
got that. I can start out that one off.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
you kick it off. That's
second,
your
like,
era.
that's your-
Come
I was
on.
about to say, you
My
got
era,
that.
damn. This
Jump
is
in there, man.
No, no.
Hey, Biz. Hey, Biz.
my
I'm
name. I
all
wasn't even
ears,
born,
man.
bro. My era. God damn.
Biz, I gotta hear, man. You
But
know,
that, I was a young child, what, 10, 15 years after that happened. 15 years. So as I began to grow around that time. So
Respectful.
I remember, that's okay. You already got me. I remember when I was in grammar school, maybe about in the 4th grade. This is the truth. And I remember my teacher saying, and I remember they showed the little clip. This clip they always show. They show the gunshot, and then they show Jacqueline Kennedy, who later became Onassis, who married one of the richest oil tycoons in the world after.
Didn't know that.
so-
Didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't
so-
know that. Okay.
Yeah, so check it out.
Hello.
Her grabbing, so-called, they said she was putting his brains back in the car. And I remember that was the story. The story was that she was doing that. Later on, when I went to college in the early 90s, I read a book called Behold the Pale Horse, written by William Cooper. He was an ex-CIA agent.
R.I.P. to Cooper.
R.I.P. to Cooper. He was killed.
He was killed.
But also, I saw a videotape of something that I also saw in the movie JFK called the Zapruder tape. You can look it up.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Do you know what's going on with that? Okay. Yeah, when you see John F. Kennedy riding, you look at it again. When you see John F. Kennedy riding in a limo, he is shot in the neck first. He's choking on his own blood.
Seriously.
His head is down. And then when you look again, you ever notice that there's a high impact that comes from the front? But if you've ever been to Dallas like I have, the book depository was behind him.
Yeah.
You want to know who shot the president of the United States at that time, John F. Kennedy? It came from the limousine driver.
The driver, yeah, no, I remember when that came
That's
out.
why the impact was so
Driver
high.
came
The
back
limousine driver reached over his left shoulder. You could see it on the Zapruder film. Shot him at high impact. That's why the fuck she got out of there. The human ear, how many of us have been riding in the car and heard a gunshot and jumped out the car? The human ear is trained to retreat. The human ear is going to tell you, jump. Somebody throw a firecracker right here, right now.
Yeah.
We're all going to move away from the sound of the firecracker. Why would she get out of the vehicle? Because the gunshot happened from inside the vehicle.
The call was from inside the house.
The call came from inside the house. No.
But no, go ahead and back into the left. Back into the left.
No,
if it's
back
over
into
here to the
left.
shoulder.
Back into the left, yeah. No, the gunshot came from hit him at close range, high impact.
Ooh.
That's what blew his head open. That's why she's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That's why she fled.
But okay, going
because if we were riding in the car and somebody shot outside, Joy wouldn't jump out the convertible.
No, and
Joy would get down in between the seats.
But why would the driver keep going in that direction on top of that?
Bro,
if that was the case of where it was coming from, that doesn't make any sense. He didn't turn.
There's the tape. You can look it up on YouTube. Google JFK security detail called off. The security team was called off. Their normal protocol was to ride on both ends of the rear of the car. You can literally see them in the tape looking at each other like, who's calling us off?
There's nobody there.
Because they wanted to clear the way so that the shot could be fired.
Allegedly. We got to say that.
Skepticism is a disease.
Yeah, man.
Because what you think is not going to happen to you, think it's all hypothetical.
No, it don't happen to you.
Somebody going to perish.
So there's so many ways that they do this manipulation and how deep it goes, and it goes into the influence and the people that you are leading and the people that are following behind you. Like this man right here, Muhammad Ali. Come on, man. You've seen through it, and you've seen the way that they manipulated that to make sure that he's not a voice anymore. That you can't be the voice anymore. We got to scare you, even if we don't hit you directly.
That's why this new media is scary for them.
Yeah.
The new media with people like us that can have a voice and that let the information, because they want to control the narrative. So this new media voice, that's why Hollywood is coming down. That's why they're fighting so hard to ban this. That's the people behind. They don't want to have a different narrative. They don't want to have a different agenda. They want you to follow the narrative that they spin. Oh, we'll blackball you, shadow ban you, do all of this shit if you're pumping a real message. They don't want that. What happened to freedom of speech? Isn't that the Constitution?
Yeah, but
freedom of expression. Why can't I just say, hey, I don't like this? Like people, and I don't think anybody in here is, of the rainbow culture. I don't think anybody.
That's all good. Just live your truth.
Exactly.
Yeah, just live your truth.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
why is it that we here in this country are worried about transgender pronouns? He, she, her, and all of this shit. We're worried about that. But
because we live in a state where men are jealous of women. And to me, that is egregious. Women couldn't vote until the 60s. Countries right now, they can't even drive or have a cell phone or go to school or be educated. Be a man. Phone no.
Well, I think that's why we should redirect some of the things that we're fighting for and what's going on.
So that was kind of my point with that. Like, we should be able to speak and say whatever we want to say about.
How you gonna help if we can't speak on it?
Right. But so like people we don't go around saying, man, I'm a heterosexual man.
I do. I tell everybody.
You do that, you wrong.
I'm joking.
I'm heterosexual. Yeah, I love you, misogynistic, this, that, and the third. But a person that's a trans can come out and say all kind of shit.
A trend.
But
hey, this is a BHism, a transformer.
So Mark Zuckerberg just removed tampons out the men's bathroom at the Meta offices today.
Is that true?
That's fact.
That's interesting.
Wow. Can we get a data check on that? I just
Yeah,
want
we're
to
gonna fact check it. We're gonna have it just pop up right here on the bottom.
Somebody fact check this.
So
Hold on, real fast before you say it, because I had a point that I wanted to jump on.
jump on it
With
both feet.
With that, so actually, ironically speaking, on both feet for another whodunit, Tory Lanez.
Tory.
Man, there was a witness, man.
There was a witness. What happened?
I've been shot. I done shot people before. You know, only in the line of duty.
No, of course.
Right, legally.
No, bullets fragment, man. Bullet hit the ground, fragments. You're gonna have fragments in your foot. Period. And then there was a witness. He on camera screaming, "Dance, bitch, dance." He 5 feet tall. She's 6'1". He need a gun for her.
They say that there's a witness that's seen him say, "Dance, bitch, dance."
That's on the audio.
And he was with another girl, right?
Well, they were having
He was with
sexual
another
relations
girl leaving
between
the party.
two of them.
Yeah, he was
Listen,
sleeping
bro.
with her and Kelsey.
She got
We
bullet
have to
fragments
stop.
to
We have to stop defending idiots.
her.
You went from being in a hot tub with Kylie Jenner and Meg Thee Stallion.
I thought it was a pool. It was a hot tub.
It was her backyard. It was Kylie Jenner's house.
Okay,
You went from that to jail.
that's a hell of a
But
night.
he
was a dummy.
He didn't go to jail for shooting her though. That's not what he went to jail for. He went to jail for having a firearm when he was a felon.
Right.
That's what he was convicted of. He wasn't convicted of shooting her.
Nah, they tracked him to shooting her.
But the other part that
Because she sued him and told on it.
No, because that wasn't even her. It was because that's what all the Megan Thee Stallion hotties were like. Look, she's not the one suing him. It's the state.
She just
I heard
You know what I'm
there was a
saying?
different
So-
bodyguard that did the firing towards Meg Thee Stallion's
It was
foot
Tory
as a
bodyguard.
warning to say back away, and they shot towards her feet, and that's what happened as a warning shot.
Bullet
They all need
fragments
their
went
ass
to-
whooped.
Yeah, they was on some females. I could admit that, baby, because
Yeah, because pulling a gun out on the woman walking up.
But honestly,
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like,
I don't
why?
think
Yeah.
it was that. I feel
Why?
like it
Why?
was something different. It definitely
Why?
was.
How much money do we have? Why?
It's a crazy
Why?
night, but that's what I'm
But
saying.
why?
And it's
It never make hey, bro, it's never gonna make any sense. Let's put you in
nope.
No, let's put you in the car. You're just driving. You and
There's
Joe.
no way Roe goes from
I'm in the
dating
whip.
them to jail. It don't never.
No,
happen.
it wouldn't happen.
It
I wouldn't.
wouldn't happen.
That part I see.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
don't
gonna
put
be in the
yourself in
pool
a
and then
situation.
my night ends or I
Come
shot
on,
somebody.
bro. What are you doing?
That ain't no
Shot
way
in
like
the
that.
foot?
Your
That's-
sister be like, "Nah, that ain't my brother. There's no way he
Come
crashed
on.
No, but
like
you know
that."
what the thing is? Me, I would be like, well, let me talk to him first. Like, I'm like, what
There's
happened?
no way Roe is
I'm like, what
crashing
happened?
like
What
that.
happened?
It's a
Let me
crash
figure it
out moment.
I don't know.
So-
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Because it might not even been you. That's the crazy part. 'Cause
But
you can
that's
get
what
rid
I'm
of stuff that
saying. Like
wasn't
it's
even
tough
you.
because now it's like with the things where it's like, okay, he's not even allowed to speak on it. Like that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
on
she
that
put a
extent.
restraining order on him.
So like not he can't get an appeal on it. And that's why I was like, damn, like that's getting pretty deep. But there's different times that we go through some shit that it's like we don't realize we are living in the midst of a big controversy again, like what happened in the 90s. Like when Biggie Smalls died, there was a big controversy that everybody was like, who did this?
Who did it? Yeah.
You know, and it's a question that just still raises eyebrows to this day. And no one, unless you were there, you're not gonna have a confirmation on exactly what happened. But it's always interesting to speculate because it just keeps reopening up over and over again. Even John F. Kennedy, we talking about that. That happened 70 years ago.
Right.
My math is off.
Oh,
60.
Well, you know what?
But that happened 60 years ago. But what
Those
I'm
are
saying
still
is,
redacted.
but still, like, it's important just that we have these discussions because, like what you're saying, if we can't evolve as humans to understand that, yo, this is my knowledge to know there's a crocodile in this river. If you cross, you're going to lose your head.
He's smooth at that.
And they're going to be like, yo, he lying.
He gonna go down there.
Go ahead.
Find
They
out.
gonna
Lose
find
that
his, they gonna
hand.
find his leg later.
Come on, prove me wrong. Go down there and go
That's
figure it out.
facts.
And that's what these conversations, they're just for informational purposes so we can all just be aware of what to look out for, what's
Yeah.
going on.
Facts.
It's like a water hole conversation. We're all at the water hole at this point, and we're
It
just
is. We're just
gathering
discussing
together.
on what's already been put in front of us.
Come on.
So, 'Cause I already feel like that too. But just in the sense of that, I think that in that situation, it was a lot of emotions going on, but I feel like for me, it just like, I think that the motives just weren't there. That's what didn't make sense for me.
The motives sound crazy.
Because it doesn't. Because I was like, okay, so who has more motivation? The girl that was your best friend that just found out you fucked her nigga, or the man that you're sleeping with?
Look, I mean,
I just didn't understand the motives. I'm
Motive
like, so
is-
that's the one who got the gun residue on her hand was the girl too. They both did.
Yeah,
They
it's
both
crazy.
did. Kelsey did too.
It's some funky stuff in
It
there.
is.
I got a little inside information.
They ran a play on them.
They ran a play on them.
But if there's a witness, bro, you don't take that to trial. Cop out at 5, do your 2, get up out of there.
Yeah, take the deal.
He tripping.
Cop out and leave.
Yeah,
I just
it was
seen
so-
celebrity
Smacked
dudes do
with
so
10,
much
right?
weird
They smacked him
activity.
with 10.
that's the other part I forgot. You seen some shit, so you be like, yo, I can believe.
This
like,
guy's
something.
on
Yeah.
TV right now. I done choked to sleep for doing something crazy to a female.
That's wild.
Seen it.
That's
So,
wild.
like, if Big Megan slap you and you 5'1", 130, you might pull
Ain't
a gun
5'7"?
out. Who?
Stand on his money,
Like-
he see his stars in heaven.
Bro, he is not 5'7".
How did they incorporate Jay-Z into that? Because they thought maybe
You just
Because
did
he's
my bad.
no, he's Rockefeller, so she's under Rockefeller, his label.
Them
So
Rock
that's why
Nation
they're saying that
lawyers,
he's
Rock
railroad.
Nation.
There we go.
yeah,
Smoked
and
They're
the
okay.
same thing they did to Chris
I retract
Brown.
again. My bad. That's my
no, it's
fault.
cool, bro. No, it's
It
okay.
is. That's exactly what they do.
I'll go back to my phone.
No.
Engage. You got the tea.
I
You got the
I didn't
tea.
mention
No, I got
Jay-Z
some
right
more
now.
tea. I got
Go
more.
for
you
it.
got
Go for
the
it. Go
tea.
I'm gonna
for
go
it.
for the
No,
more
you
tea.
got
It was with
tea.
Maverick. Maverick Approach. Shout out to Maverick Approach.
Shout out my boy Mav.
Shout out my boy Mav Bailey. Man, big. You know Mav?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know Mav. So Mav is friends with Tory.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like real friends. And so he pretty much says that that it was the relationship that was like that. That actually the boy wasn't the shooter. That they did run a play on him, and more of it was about that crypto shit.
Wowzers.
What you think on that, BH?
Be like that.
That's what.
I always thought that was a bigger
was a-
plot.
it was
It
a-
just
it was
didn't make
another play.
sense.
When
It
I
didn't make
seen-
sense.
When I seen them, we never seen Tory Lanez with his son before until this case. He carrying him on his back, and they doing that typical lawyer play to soften his image and all of that. I'm like, they softening his image for a trial against the biggest rapper at that time? Now, mind you, she made the song say she is savage and then told and went to court. So the lawyers already know this is going to be it for her. We can't let her lose this because we got to protect our investment.
That's exactly what it is.
And that's what happened.
And they had her lying on stand. That's crazy.
She had a dealing with Maverick herself. Maverick was renting out luxurious properties, and she came in, signed the deal, paid the money, and because you remember that story Maverick told us,
Yeah.
man, she backed out of it because of something with some. She wanted him to change the floors.
Yeah, like she Prince or somebody.
Yeah, like
That's
she
what
Prince.
would do.
Yeah, like
Prince
she
would
wanted to change the
whole-
floors. And this rental property, he's like, I'm not doing that. He changed the curtains. He did a bunch of other things that she
Yeah.
wanted. And because she didn't, he clearly said that, Maverick said that she filed a lawsuit against him and basically tanked his company, man.
Bro, see what she did to 1501?
Yep.
She had a marvelous deal.
Her old record label. Facts.
Because he played in the MLB. I knew him because I was bodyguarding Pedro Martinez one time. That's how I met him. He played in the MLB. She was signed to him first. Rock Nation got involved, got her out that deal. He like, how could they even do that? Well, that, like I always say, that private sector.
You'd be surprised what
Yeah.
they could do behind the scenes.
Yeah, but that's the man behind the curtain.
That's why BH says, and he said this clear in a lot of interviews, yeah, people can, like I got a semi-relationship, even though BH that's my man, I know people that know Puff, but I ain't got nothing to do with his bedroom, and I don't got nothing to do with nothing he got going on.
Amen.
So we speak it like it is. This is my man.
Amen.
And it's what it is. And he says clearly he knows more information on the other side, but you can't play with Jay-Z with this shit.
No.
That ain't the person you want to play with.
That man stopped the stop and frisk law in New York.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's some people that have pushed through not just like political ties, but they're actually trying to push laws into order for the people to look out for them. And it's like, you're not playing with this person right now. Like some of the laws that Snoop is pushing through right now, there's some people that are really doing things to look out for the people.
For sure.
Yeah. And you know, on that note, man, you're a man of God, dude.
For sure.
And I think that that's something that is really prevalent that we don't talk about enough in this industry with anybody that's a man of God. And we show all respect. Yeah, please.
Yeah, wait.
Hold it up for the
Camera, yeah, hold up for the camera, man.
It's tatted on me. Long live the blessed king, for sure.
Come on, and it's not something that we take in vain, man. I got the Matthew 4:16.
Okay.
It's a little smudged on the bottom because they was holding my veins down and I was all puffed up. But that was
same arm. I
Shout out
noticed.
Tess by
Matthew
Tony.
chapter 7, verse 7 through 8. Seeking you shall find, listening you shall hear.
come on, Matthew 4:16. Be the light, be the candle light on the top of the mountaintop.
Boy, these boys don't went to Bible
see.
school in here.
Okay.
Oh man, our
hello.
grandfather was a pastor, man.
Okay, so my grandfather
Reverend
was a
Jerome
deacon.
Fisher. Yeah, and our
Yeah.
other
My
grandfather
grandma-
was a deacon.
I come from that too, but you know, obviously, I got a different religious. I was raised heathen. I was raised without religion. So my religious coming to understanding religion was very organic. I didn't have anybody telling me I should be this or that.
But that's why I think it's key to
Yeah, you know,
understand
so.
the dialect that we're speaking of, just knowing God. Like I don't even ask people like, do you believe in God anymore? I ask people, do you know God? That's just all I ask. Do you know
So
God?
let's talk about that. That might be an interesting. Now, that's something people don't talk enough about.
Yeah, we could close on that. We could close on that.
Let's
close
talk
on that.
about God, and I would like to. Damn, I'm taking the show. It's Brian at.
No,
Come on.
no.
Know your biz.
Know your
Know your biz.
I didn't hijack my man's shit.
Come on, no, go for it. Come on, that's what it's all about, brother.
Man, two big questions, man. You know, the mystery of God and afterlife, and that's what. And I think that, you know, like that's like one of them topics, like, you know, that goes there. You know what I mean? Your own mortality is a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like, so yes, kick it off, man. Like,
So let's do this for closing thoughts. We're gonna go around the table.
What a way to end. Closing thoughts.
I like
mortality.
that. Literally.
Closing thoughts.
Mortality.
Damn,
We started with mortality. We're gonna end with mortality.
I like that.
Hey, but it's, you know what? It's all blessings. It's
circle.
all in perspective of how
circle.
you look at it. This is full circle. Exactly what we're talking about. This is on the same field. This sense of understanding the closing of it, where God has given a purpose, He's given instruction, light, hindsight, and enlightenment to all of us, and it's an equal opportunity for us. It's like a nucleus. The closer you are to the center of that nucleus, the more that you're going to start seeing other people around you that's like, they hearing the same thing I heard, because I was just hearing this and they hearing that, and we on the same wavelength. And it just, some people construed it with different names, and they call it being a psychic. They call it all these different dark arts. We're not going to even give them any praise on that. What we're going to say is it's how close you are in that sense of your spirituality and this acknowledgement with God and your connection with God and how you speak with Him. We got family members that are Jehovah Witness, Muslim. I've got even on my kids' side, they got people that are Jewish. Like there's different fields, but it's still just, how do you know God? How's your relationship with God? And with that to say, I believe in the love that God offers is universal and is unbiased. I just think that there's some people that try to take advantage of it, and that is something that will never be undermined. If you're trying to take advantage of the love of God, you toying with the wrong one. That's
That
what
part.
I think it is, and the extent of what I would say for what happens in a karmic sense of it. Joy?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like me and you always have these type of conversations all the time. So I feel like we already know what we think. But I feel like as far as me, I don't really put like an exact religion on it. Like you said, I just know God. I know my connection. I've literally had talks with them. I've had like when you actually have real speaks with I don't know if it sounds crazy, but it's like the spiritual realm. When you have real talks with the spiritual realm, it's like you can feel it. It's a very different. It's very third person. It's a lot different from what most people would be expecting of it. So I don't really follow by what man's law and things like that are, of what they define religion behind, or I just try to live my life as morally as possible and listen to what I've been told directly. I'm not listening to everybody else. I'm not listening to what y'all made up and y'all flesh is telling y'all to do. I'm listening to what's been told directly to my ears. So that's my connection as far as spirituality. But as far as like afterlife, I feel as though you kind of, I watched the movie. There's a movie that was in theaters called After Death. And they were
I wanted to see it. I was scared to watch it.
I
actually wanted to see it, but I was like, nah, I don't want to see it.
It was good. It was people
like,
that have died before, and they come back to life, and they tell what their recounts were. There were some people that just were falling through a pit, and it was just like I was really scared, and I was calling for God, and He just brought me back up. There were some people that went to a different realm where they saw family members and things like that. And I've read a book, The Journey of the Souls. That's pretty much the same thing where you can go through different stages, but then you go to your cluster, you go back, and you come back around as far as where matter can't be destroyed, it's transferred.
Yes.
So you go through those cycles. For me, what I think of is you go through those cycles to learn your karmic lessons, and then once you go through those, if you don't keep learning them, you keep going down. If you learn them, you go up, and then you reach nirvana. That's what I think as far as afterlife and what my theory would be.
And it's not like an agnostic sense. It's just in the sense of you still are humble enough to understand God and what He's doing.
But if you said that to super religious people, that's the first thing they're gonna call. They're gonna label you an atheist, agnostic. They're gonna say you're a heathen. They're gonna say you're going to hell and everything.
That's why I want to clarify that it's not agnostic.
I love what you said. No, and you guys come from a religious perspective.
Of course, yeah.
So, but you understand that the holy roly Christian. Well, they're gonna crucify that.
Exactly. That's why
they're gonna cover you with the blood of Jesus off the top.
That's why
you're going right under the blood.
That's why I'm coming in to clarify that right now. It's not an agnostic sense.
No,
I love that you did that for your sis. I saw you come right in the big broken. Like I'm not letting her go out with the agnostic.
But it's not even like in a control sense. It's just like we've had these talks where it goes back and back, and we're on the same page.
Yeah,
facts, big facts.
But it's your turn.
Oh, me.
No,
me. I'm kind of well, again, like so I came to Islam when I came in religion, and then I pretty much learned that the Christianity and Islam are both Abrahamic religions. I went to a Jewish high school. I don't know if I always tell that story.
No,
I never knew that.
Okay,
yeah, I went to a
New York.
In New York, yeah.
It's got to be in New York. You're not going to a Jewish high school.
Yeah, I went to Jewish high school.
Hebrew.
I went to Jewish high schools and the Jewish educators, so I understand a lot about Judaism and how they move and think. One of my nicknames is the Black Jew.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I operate more in a Jewish collective sense with people. If you ever notice how I operate, I always like bringing in other people, and that's why they're empowered because they get it.
Amen.
And so I got that part about that.
Shalom.
Shalom. But as far as me, I could say I used to be very like tried to follow the letter in the book of Islam. Islam, just like for a lot of people like BH is Christian, I take the base of a lot of things and I use them in my moral deity, how I do things. I realized that in a lot of the text that, and there's one text that I found to be wise. It says that those that choose to follow the allegorical seek to mislead. A lot of people don't realize that the Bible and these books are really wrote in parable. It's like the supreme creator talking to a child. You got to kind of tell a story, the tooth fairy to get it, you know, like to explain it. Well, that's how the creator is talking to mankind in my field. He uses these parables to make the point. Otherwise, man wouldn't understand it. So that's like, to me, that's God's way of talking.
Correct.
Now, when we move through that, when we get into the heaven and hell thing and some things with the book, I realized that religion has gotten a hold with culturalism. So certain cultures, man-made culture, they've adopted the religion, and inserted the culture into the religion. Mm-hmm. Now they make it their own thing. And it's not, for me, it's not of God. Like, I don't see any reason why I should be looking like an Arab from one of the Bedouin people from 3,000 years ago. I'm not wearing that shit. I live in America. Right. I was born right here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got to do that, right? So then when it comes to the afterlife, for me, as I began to study more of the past 20 years or so of, you know, just quantum and understanding science just from a basic science level, you know, you can't even kill a human if you look at it from a scientific level. That's the thing you have to believe at that point. Again, if you look at behind the splitting of an atom is energy, and energy cannot be what? Joy said that earlier. It cannot be destroyed. It only transforms state. And humans are tiny particles of atoms, which has energy. And then when you get into quantum, that just means, again, that this is almost a human body to me is like a cell phone. The cell phone there's nothing going on. You don't see the words coming in and out this motherfucker, right? You don't even see the text. You can have it in there. But so the signal, whatever that is from our supreme creator, is sending the signal in and out of our body. This is just a shell.
No, literally. Even
Like,
if you break this
you can
phone
break
right
it,
now,
I
you
can
would still
still
have it
get
in
the messages
cloud.
back.
The message is still
I
going to
can
come
still
through.
get
Your
the
cloud is
messages
still
back.
there. You
so
can
the
put it in
cloud
another
is
phone.
the cloud is, and that's why I believe that the greatest human creation that's ever been made is a cell phone. It kind of mimics the idea of God in my opinion.
This is a person.
Yeah, it's a
this is
per-
another.
yeah.
This is you
That's
in
a
a
So the internet is Babel.
physical form. Yes.
But
Let's move
sorry,
to
VH,
let's
man.
move to the big Hefe.
First and foremost, thank you for having me today on the Know Your Role
Oh yeah,
show.
thanks for having
man.
me too, bro.
Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Coming.
man.
This been dope. This been dope. I'll just say this: 1501 King James and 47 clergymen edited the Bible.
In fact,
That's why we have the King James Bible.
that's right.
The Catholic prayer is, Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now to the hour of our death. Amen. In no religious book can anyone quote me anything a woman said. Men historically have been the greatest group of prolific liars, deceivers, and murderers. All of these books that exist have been written by men. So for me, I've seen the darkest parts of humanity. On my path, I've seen very few actual men of God that are actually men of action. Your interpretation of your religious book is one thing, but your relationship with God is another. Whoever you believe in, whoever your God is, it's up to you to build and maintain a proper relationship with that person. And I'm just going to leave it at this. There are people who believe that the afterlife takes place in another dimension. If you take your Tesla to the graveyard, the biometric camera on that Tesla is going to show
humans.
people walking around. I always said God gave me 9 lives. There's no way I could do the things that I do without my belief system. I've done heinous things to child molesters, and I've seen them scream for God. I'm just going to leave it at this. If you have a belief system, live by those beliefs. If not, you're just a contributor to the purveyors of things evil. I'm going to leave it at that.
Amen. Amen. And
Stand on business.
nightlife, we're going to close out with you.
What up? I grew up.
Right, just a heavy
Jehovah's-
transition like that.
I know, right? I grew up with Jehovah's Witness background. My mom and dad met at a convention, and they courted. Boom, they had me. As far as the Bible, if you go back to the beginning when it said God created the heavens and the earth, and then he talks about the creatures that were in the ocean and the sea monsters and creatures, what was going on in the sky. And when Jesus was right next to God, depending on how you view God, if you consider him Jehovah, Yahweh, if you believe in the Trinity, Catholicism, Christianity, if anybody believes in the higher being and the entity that we all would consider God, be it Allah, be it Jehovah, be it the Trinity,
Amen.
Jesus, God, and the angels were not of this earth. So technically, when you break it down, what is an extraterrestrial and what is something not of this planet? So religion is a man-made word. So we've turned religion into something that can be broken down 100 different ways, 100 different parts of the earth. My theory, I believe there's a higher power. I also believe that there's an extraterrestrial entity that's came here before to be with us, which has been shown. We might have considered them gods. And going back to Sumerian text, I won't get too deep into it. I believe that if we all follow what we know is right and wrong, we go in ourselves and we look up, we look left, we look right, look to our parents, try to make better their mistakes and our own mistakes. And then in the end, something's going to happen. God, the devil, and the aliens are all going to show up at one point, whether it be Armageddon, whether it's a great tribulation, whether it's whatever you believe in, something is going to happen. It's coming soon. It could be CERN messing with the dimensions to bring back the dark ones, the Titans, all that. Or we all just might be able to get to another planet like Elon Musk.
And that's your belief. I'm not judging you at all. That's your belief, man.
I was fucking with it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, like he left it open to perspective, and it's something that is comprehensive. Yeah. I mean, like when you look at it prospectively, because out of all context. Of us, it's in all of our theories, all of us, it has some relatability.
It does.
Joy's was relatable, yours was relatable, BH's was relatable. It's nothing I heard that was contrite. Like I'm like, fuck out of here. There's gonna be a monkey dog is gonna come out. He's gonna stand above the sky. And, and then that's gonna be the end. No, it wasn't that. No, so. Yeah. So
that's facts. Everything did go hand in hand. I feel like pretty much everybody's like, whatever you are, whatever you believe in, just make sure that you're staying right.
And that's the main thing. Keep your morals.
Yeah.
Keep your morals, man. Keep your moral compass.
I wanted to say one thing about what Joy had mentioned, and she was talking about the voice, and I'm gonna tell you what I know about the voice. And that's the only reason I mentioned that, because you had kind of said, and maybe I can loan you this.
Oh, please.
Sometimes we gotta know what voice we're listening to too.
Oh, yes.
And that's the cold part, because there's an Arabic word which is called the wasp, and that means in Arabic, it means the lowest of all whispers. And sometimes that's the motherfucker that's talking to you. Psst, hey, Joy.
Oh, see, I mean, not to be on no crazy schizophrenia shit, but I know who's talking.
Okay, cool.
No, he's not always.
Sometimes I don't know.
He's very short and direct.
Sometimes I don't know.
He doesn't sit there and have long conversations. It's very short and direct.
Sometimes I don't know, so that's why.
And it's very loud.
Because of my ego challenges. I don't know.
That's where you're.
No, yeah, you're right though, because there'll be a lot of people that they're not always the right ones.
I don't know.
It's not.
So I gotta check my shit before I move.
But that's the importance of understanding the root of it, and that's how you got to know your role.
And awareness, knowing God.
I'm joking. I'm joking. No, we're not gonna do that about me. I was just trying to segue. That was a joke. That was a horrible timing. But I'm sorry. But hey, guys, I want to just thank you guys all again so much for coming in today. I appreciate all the insight. I appreciate the knowledge that we're able to give. I appreciate everybody that's listening. If there's anything that you resonated with, and any comments or concerns or anything you want to just dial back into us, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to reach back out to you. This has been Know Your Role podcast, man. Thank you guys so much, and have a blessed one.
Peace. Man, great job. I think this is your best one.